right, good evening, everyone. Wow, it's another beautiful Friday. Like you guys know, I'm always excited when it comes to Fridays. So, all right, so tonight, sorry about that. Okay, so tonight is gonna be another amazing night. Trust me, like you guys know, I'm always excited when it comes to Friday because I just can't wait to be with you guys. I can't wait to bring in the amazing jewels, beautiful things that we have in the evening. So that is why we are here again. And do not forget, for some of you who don't know, my name is Nini Olafatai. I am the host of the Speaker Show. So I'm going to tell you guys, welcome, 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 welcome on the Speaker Show. So tonight, without taking much of our time, trust me, there's a lot I would like to say, but I would just reserve that for you guys for later. And then, I will just bring in our very, 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 very own special guest this evening. So for some of you who don't know, I need to tell you about this man because he's an amazing an entrepreneur that, there's so much to learn from. There is so much to learn from. So, first of all, I want to tell you because he is the Director General of Badagry Chambers of Common Industry, Mine, and Agriculture, and the Secretary for the advocacy group for establishment of the Nigeria Benin Parliament Joint Commission. So you guys get excited. This is a Superman that we have in the house. So please, everyone, help me welcome our special guest, Mr. Emmanuel is saying. Thank you,
Hello,
thank you, thank you
everyone.
for coming.
Nice meeting you all. And
Same
I
here,
believe it's going to
same
be a
here.
great night tonight.
Yeah, I'm hope so. I'm hoping so. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing great, and you too?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. You
That's
excited
nice.
to be among us this evening?
Yeah, very excited.
Honestly, I have to tell you this before we get started. Like, I want to say a very big thank you to you for joining the show, for being on the show all the way from Nigeria. It is 1 a.m. Honestly, you guys inspire me a lot. You inspire me, you motivate me. You are the reason why we keep doing what we're doing, because when we see the passion that you guys put in and being on the show with us at 1 a.m., I think that's phenomenal. And I want to say, on behalf of the whole team, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you.
Always a
All
pleasure.
right, so let's get started. So, do you want to tell us a little bit, for us to get to know you a little bit, tell us something about you?
All right. My name is Emmanuel Adrian. I'm a techpreneur. I choose to call myself a techpreneur because I'm an IT person. I practice information and communication technology as a trade for about 20 years. And I've been able to go through all facets of the IT world. And also, I'm an administrator, just like you rightly introduced me there. I'm currently the Director General of the Badagry Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, where we are basically changing the narrative of trade in Badagry region and basically transforming it to be one that will be reckoned with in a few years' time. Aside from this, I'm the CEO of DataShare Technologies, my main company, and I'm also practicing, training. I have a tech hub where I offer training to the up and coming ones, and basically it's been all fine. This aside from the fact that I also have an online platform where I promote the arts, the tradition, and the culture of the people of Badagry, as well as trade. So I'm someone that you can consider to be a businessman, just like you have rightly introduced me. So it's a pleasure, you know, being on your show tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are glad to have you. Wow, that's a lot that you are doing. And how are you able to manage all of that? Because I love the way when you talk about the agriculture like that is coming up in Badagry area. I think that's a phenomenal thing. So how do you wrap up all this so much things that you do?
Well, basically, I've been a very well endowed individual that, I'm multi-talented and multitasking as well. So I try to keep myself busy, Without much ado, I get myself engaged in anything that is, that is worthwhile. So I'm enjoying myself. I can assure you of that.
Wow, I like that. And you know what? That's going to actually, tie into the next question that I want to ask you. So now, being a businessman, aside from all these, like, elegant things that you have going on, businesses like that you have going on. So, like, is there any other thing that you actually find interesting doing aside from work itself? It
Well,
could be
um, we all have our individual skills that we develop naturally. I have a natural skill in music too as well. It came in handy when I was in school, in back in the days. So I basically made ends meet, doing musical stuff, studio work and stuff like that. But I choose to, take it as just a passion, but not as a business. So it made me to meet a lot of people, and basically I've learned a lot, within the musical space while I was young. But at this time, I think I'm good in IT, and I'm also good as an administrator.
wow. Just really quick, I love the way you talked about it as well. Don't worry, I'm going to love a lot of things tonight. So when you hear the word coming out, so just feel comfortable with me.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, I really like the way, you were able to, like, differentiate the two, like, business wise, the things that you love to do business wise, and then, like the music as well too, as it being your passion, because there are a lot of people that, once they're in business, they automatically feel that, that's what they're actually, like, that's what their passion is for. So, but, like, I love the way, like, you are able to, like, separate the two. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I
Thank you
hope you
very
succeed. All right. So my next question for you is that, so actually, how can you identify which area like, when we talk about business and being in the technology, I would like to ask that, which area do you think that, like, could actually help someone in the business world to grow, like, when it comes to the use of technology that can actually benefit them and benefit their business as well?
All right. I think this is one area that I think I'm a lot more confident and a little bit comfortable as well. Basically identifying the most suitable technology for business goals and target audience, just like what you are doing now. Requires a strategic approach that integrates understanding both the business objectives and the characteristics, basically what your niche is, and then the preference of the kind of people you want to reach out to. Those are the, basically your target audience. And you need to have a step-by-step approach for you to get, the desired results. You need to define your goal, you need to, set targets for yourself, by making clearly defined objectives. This could include, basically, do you want to make money from what you do? Do you want to do it for, for social causes? Do you want to improve efficiency of what others are offering? Do you want to enhance, what people, perceive to be, access to internet or what have you, maybe business and stuff like that. And then, and you can also look at expanding your reach. These are some of the defined goals that you can have. After which you can understand your target audience. You have to set, targets for the kind of audience that you want to have, basically that you need to reach. After identifying, your target audience, you have to also look at the kind of technology you want to deploy. Those technologies that are required for you to meet your basic or set objectives are very, very important. And as a matter of fact, most people choose technologies that are not quite useful for them, while some choose, the most simplest of technology, and they're able to achieve so much. You don't have to spend so much money before you can actually, reach your goal. It's basically identifying technologies that are most stable to your business goals and target audience is something that also requires research in available technologies for you to make, informed decisions. You have to check the options of those technologies. How do you want to, push out your product? Is it going to be offline? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be live or recorded? Or basically you sell products. You have items that you sell online. Maybe you want to set up an e-commerce for that purpose. How do you get paid? All of these are very, very important. And they all form an integral part of what, comes to be your solution at the end of the day for determining the kind of technology which you are deploying for your business. So, and then of course, you have a test pilot stage, you have a monitoring stage, and by following the basic steps, I think you're gonna succeed with your choice.
Wow. Thank you. That's a very good information out there. Thank you. And then, in line with what you're actually saying, I would like to also ask this that, what are the key steps that one can take actually, like, in implementing all these new technologies to, like, to grow the business model as well?
Yes, the key steps basically is you have to look at reliability of the platforms you want to, deploy. Is it a platform that you have hands on? You understand? These are some of those things. And then is it easily accessible by the people? You have to look at the niche, the actual requirements of most people. Wherever there is a problem, that is where, you can create a niche for yourself. If what you are bringing on board is not solving any problem, basically there is nothing that you're going to gain out of it. But when you are solving basic challenges of day to day, maybe communications, perhaps is the need for certain, services, some of, which will help to alleviate challenges of the people, will be those things that you should concentrate on. Without challenges, there are no opportunities. Thanks.
I agree. I agree 100% because you have to face some certain things in your life in order for you to get a breakthrough. You just don't expect everything to just happen today, like just like the way people always say, like, get rich quick, that it's a scam. Everybody have different kind of opinion about it, which I do agree that, you have to put in some level of work in order for you to be able to achieve what exactly that you set your mind towards. Before we go further, I would like to say this to our audience. Please, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to drop a question or that you like, that you have something in mind that you like him to clarify or you would like to ask, please drop your questions below. And then shortly we're going to be taking questions. It's going to be questions and answers. So, I'm sure you want your questions to be answered. So thank you. So that's just by the way. All right. So coming back to our conversation, another thing that I would like to ask you is this, that what do you think is the most, because I know you've met several people in your career, like, I'm sure there are thousands of people that but what do you think is the, one important thing that one needs to cultivate, when it comes to building a relationship with people, either on a personal level or maybe like, business wise? What do you think are the most important thing that one needs to look out for?
The most important thing to look out for when cultivating relationship is that you have to be honest with yourself. That is the first thing. And then you also have to be sure that this person is someone that you can trust. Because in business, when there is no trust in the relationship, you can't go anywhere. So except, of course, you just want to go on a wild goose chase with such an individual. But if you really want to have a business relationship with someone else, you have to, be sure that it's somebody you can trust. And this is something that we've always been taught, from childhood. It's basically natural for you to know if this person is someone you can really work with, is somebody you can trust and you can achieve some stuff with. Yeah, that's it.
In line with that, there was something that I read, and they actually talked about like two people getting into business, and A is more like putting 100% in, and then B not putting 100% in. So at the end of the day, the business clashed because they're both expecting to get the same balance of money. So what would you say when it comes to that? I read that and I was like, to some level it kind of makes sense, to be honest, and then to some level it's kind of like, okay, kind of like, the question mark is there. So what would you say, when two people are doing a business together, you both trust one another, but at the end of the day the both of you are not putting in 100%, 100% time into it. Maybe one is putting more time into it than the other person. And yet, they're both expecting to get the same, you know, percentage at the end of the day. So how would you, because I know people struggle with this, people have this kind of problems all the time. How would you address that being a businessman?
Well, as you rightly said, that is not a good working relationship. There is a challenge in ab initio. Basically, it could be that both of them come together for sentiment reasons. They've not actually studied themselves to look at their strengths, to look at the weakness of each other, to be able to define set rules and objectives for each person. If you are going into a partnership business, you are not going to come to the table with the same thing. You have to address various, areas of the business that everyone has to be hands on. And when that is impossible, it becomes challenging. And of course, a relationship that cannot work will definitely crumble. So it's best serves each of them to go their separate ways, or they could actually have people coming to help them run this business. Hopefully, if they can have the mind to do that, especially when the business, they've invested so much money into it and I don't want it to crumble. So, but if you have to choose somebody to work with, be sure it's somebody who will address some of the basic challenges of yourself. Everyone has their shortcomings. Somebody who will be better in areas where you are not good enough, so that you can both carry yourself, along.
Wow. Thank you for the information. That's really, really good. That's really good. And I agree with it. Another thing that I want to ask you is this, when it comes to the use of technology, like we talked about before, imagine somebody who is over here and then someone who is like having to do business in Nigeria, for example. So how would you make use of the technology whereby, like, you're still getting your profit, you're getting your money is not at stake, but with the use of technology, you are able to, like, still do the best that you can. So what kind of technology would you recommend, or would you suggest, or like what kind of advice would you give in that area?
This is something very easily addressed with the technologies we have today. I have a number of clients who, basically run their businesses remotely. And I also have a number of clients too that I've been, consulting for several years now, that we have never met in person. Basically, a client that desires to run his business from a remote location is very possible today. We have some basic tools like the customer relationship management application, a CRM solution that can be actually installed, and it can be used for you to access what is going on at your business premises at all times. And of course, the cloud-based management softwares are, they are not something that is rocket science anymore. Everybody is hearing about, cloud, and stuff like that. There are a number of tools that are in the cloud that can be very useful for you, accounting tools and stuff like that. And basically, if your business has to do with, exchange of currency, rapidly, like you have a mall or a shopping complex and you need to install a POS, there are point of sales applications today that you can access minute by minute transaction of what is actually going on your premises, coupled with the fact that you can install remote surveillance applications. Basically we call it CCTV cameras. We have more advanced ones that tracks, and you'll be able to see, what is going on real time. These tools are there for everybody to use. Of course, you also have an inventory solution, an inventory software that gives you up-to-date information of what you have in stock at every point in time. And where it's not an inventory-based service, you have other means or other mechanisms for you to monitor. Perhaps you have sites, where people actually, work for you. We have the attendance, the automated attendance solutions that, keeps time of when everyone resumes and whenever they leave. And then, of course, we have communication tools, mobile phones, the internet, we have financial tracking tools, we have supply chain management applications, we have data analysis, where you can actually conduct audit of day-to-day transactions, which enables you to have a clearer insight of what is going on at your site. I have a number of clients today who run their businesses remotely, and they are doing very, very well. They travel all over the world, and they can still access their business premises to see what is going on there, minute by minute. And where there are infractions, they quickly need to contact someone to to intervene and stuff like that. And basically, all these checks and balances makes it a lot easier for us, today to run our businesses remotely without any itch whatsoever or fear of losing our investment. That's it.
I think that's a very good one because, also like, just like you've said, and then you've explained, like, if we look at the world right now, things are changing and things have changed and then it's still changing. And then also, like, with what you said, now you can see everything that is going on. Like, now you're not there physically, but you can still be there. You can still be present by looking at the things that are going on with the CCTV camera and every other things that, like, that one can make use of. And I think that's the beauty of the technology that we have these days compared to like those days that, there was less, and then, you have to like travel all the way down there, have to be there in person. And I think that, it's such a beautiful time that we're living right now. When we look at the good things that's happening all over the world right now, even though there's still some challenges back and forth, but like, I think with the use of technology, I think the world is advancing as well. Yeah.
The
And
world
another
has made a
question that,
huge leap,
sorry?
especially with the AI. The world has made a huge leap, especially with
Yeah.
the AI. It's a lot easier for you to track, information now, and resources is, it's going to be a lot more easier for you to manage your resources. And of course, with the 5G technology, it makes the internet a lot faster. You can, basically control everything in your home remotely.
Mhm.
We have people who install these things in your home, and then you can have control over your business premises and your home from any remote location, provided there is the internet and there is power on those devices. That's it.
Wow, that's beautiful. The next thing that I would like to ask you is this: like, I know all those things sounds beautiful, but I know that at the end of the day, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be, that kind of ups and down at some point in one's business, like, whatever anyone is doing. So, I want you to, like, share a little bit with us this evening, like, how have you been able to leverage, the, like, challenges with the use of technology?
Well, like every day-to-day risk, there are issues. For instance, the resistance to change by people, who wouldn't want to accept the fact that they have to start to do things in a different way. One of those things I do basically is to be patient with them and make sure that I conduct an analysis of reasons why they aren't, interested in accepting this technology. Perhaps it could be the platform through which it's being provided or made available to them that is something they are finding difficult. After conducting some of these basic analysis, it's now easier for you to deduce how you can actually train them. Training is a continuum, it's something that you can never stop, especially with the advent of AI. A lot of things is going to change the way we do stuff. For instance, in the US and Canada over there is this demand for automation of every processes. So people are afraid that they're going to lose their job. This is one of those things that technology can actually do. But it's not going to, people are not going to lose their job. It's going to create a lot more jobs than you could imagine. For instance, before the COVID in the year 2020, many people in Nigeria would never have believed that you can transact your financial needs from your next door and then you get your money or you transfer money anyway. Before or prior to this period, you have to go queue in the bank, spend precious time, and travel long distances. But it became something that you can transact next door for every financial needs that you might have. And today it's become almost like every street you have more than 20 banks. What are those I'm referring to as banks? They're talking about those POS operators. They call them POS operators here. All they have is a point of sales machine that can actually access your bank account, and you can transfer money to wherever you want to transfer money to. You can withdraw cash, in a jiffy. So it makes it a lot easy for you. Unlike those days where it's, cumbersome, you spend lots of time, So I would say that technology has its challenges, but it's throwing up a lot more opportunities. We have millions of people working as bank agents now. This is something that never existed. And by the time we continue to automate other processes, it's going to start to throw up a lot more job opportunities for everyone. So I think it's a win-win thing, despite the fact that we have the challenges, but they are surmountable. That's the way I look at IT. There is never a challenge that does not have a solution. That's why we call it solution providers. So IT provides solutions for every basic challenges. Either you're looking for a job, you're looking for a school, you want to transact your business, you want to shop, anything whatsoever. It provides solutions for you at your fingertips.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. When you actually mentioned the AI, the automation, I read something online and it kind of triggers some things in me. And then it says that right now, with the use of technology and with the use of AI, now when people pass away, when they're actually supposed to bury the dead, now with the use of technology, they're like, with I believe it's automation or something like that. Now I think so around that. I can't remember the name specifically, but now people want to reserve the debt instead of burying because like I can't remember the name, but like there's just something that like in 100 years from now, people are gonna be able to like to take more advantage. Like you never know, they can be awake or like they can come back to life. So it's about like a lot of people, over 300,000 people, they're like in the incubator wherever like they don't want their people to just get buried on the ground and they forget about them. So then I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, man, like where we're going with this.
Yeah.
The use of technology, honestly, just like you also mentioned, when it comes to Nigeria, like years ago, I remember back then when I was young, when we go to the bank and then the queue is like crazily long. And those days, I remember they always have this small paper, and then they're like, imagine Nigeria in like, in year 2004, year 2000 and something, and imagine how better it's going to become. And it's amazing that like, we actually living into that right now with the use of technology. Can you imagine that?
Nigerians are one of the most intelligent people on the planet Earth. Anybody likes it or not, there is no dispute about that. I've always believed in our youth. We are talented, real talented. I've had the opportunity to train so many guys. Many of them are now in the US, in Canada, everywhere, doing very well in IT. Why I'm saying this is because of the fact that when you are in Nigeria, you see all the challenges that there are. The challenges It's not about your ability. It's about the infrastructure. That's why you struggle. It's about the provision of the basic necessities that you require for you to excel. The inadequacies in the system is what makes you to struggle. But where you are placed in a place where everything you need is there, Nigerians excel more than any other race, any other country in the whole world. You know, we have a lot of Nigerians in medicine, in information technology, in even artificial intelligence, you know, in academics. Nigerians are the best everywhere. So what we need in Nigeria is not, you know, we don't have to beg. We don't have to beg. What we need is support. We need the kind of support that is going to, you know, transform our country so that we can develop this nation to be what it should be. And talking about back in the days, I'm sure you will remember when it was difficult for you to go get your JAMB form and you queue on the line for several hours. But today, your kids can do it from the comfort of your home. That's how good it is now. We have those challenges, they are there, but it's all about leadership. When we get it right and we're able to tie the knots together, Nigerians can, you know, bring the whole world to this country. And I believe so much in my country. And I know you also have faith in Nigeria and you believe you can be higher than we are now.
Oh my goodness. All right, I like that. All right, so we're gonna be going to we're gonna be taking questions from our viewers right now, from the audience. So I'm just gonna go through like the couple of questions right here, but I'm not sure maybe we're gonna have enough time to take all of it. But let's start with this.
Okay.
How can you start up a business with a little amount of money?
When you say little, it depends on what you want to do. Basically, when it comes to business, my chamber, the Badagry Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, happens to be one of the most active city chambers in Nigeria today. We have a variety of projects that are geared towards promoting trade in our region, and we've been able to have a lot of milestones as of date. We have signed an MOU with the National Chamber of Commerce in Benin Republic and Togo. We believe in the fact that people that develop the economy are more of the small scale traders. Yes, all those big companies, Dangote and the rest, Nestle, they play a very major role, but those small scale traders are the ones that have actually built this country. We grew up having our mothers, you know, strapping kids to their back, going all over, you know, trading to send their kids to school, who are today the captains of the industry, you know, the bank managers, the Dangotes of this world. So if we can actually revive our people, you know, do those businesses in a sane manner where there are less harassment, you know, especially where there's protection for the woman, you know, that there are no harassment, you know, by security agents or by, you know, those that are, you know, on the other side, and they can transact their business without fear. I believe the country is going to benefit a lot from this. And Badagry especially thrives on trade and commerce and also investment. So if you have a limited fund, you have to conduct a search, a feasibility study on the kind of business that will suit your investment, the capital you have. And then, of course, you can consult with us in the chamber. We'll be very much willing to assist you, recommend you to people that can be very useful for us, because that is our primary aim here, for you to conduct your business safely, and then that you're not going to lose your investment. So we are regulated and we are registered with the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, NACIMA, the national body of Nigeria Association of Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. And we basically, you know, connect people with opportunities. That's what I can tell to that person. So if he needs more information, you can, you know, reach out to me. I'll give you more information.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that information. I appreciate that a lot. That's good. So I'm sure that probably by the time the show is done, and if there's anyone that would love to contact you or like that would love to be in contact with you, we'll see how we're gonna make that arrangement. And yeah, and hopefully that can bring them like good fortune from there. All right, so we're gonna go to the next question. um so does buying a share from companies help one's business to grow further? What do you think about that?
Yes, it's a good one. You could invest in stocks and shares in the venture stocks and the rest. So, like I said before, what you need is a good stockbroker. You need somebody who is an expert in that field who will give you the basic information that is required that will help to measure your risk and your investment. Once you have it, and then you make good money. For instance, some companies' shares are growing, faster these days, like Dangote and the rest of them, while some are not doing too well based on the currency fluctuations we are having presently. So it's something that you need to study carefully before you go into it. And the less risk you take, the better it is for you. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I agree with that. All right, all right. So we're still here taking questions from the audience. All right. So there's another question here that says, with the fluctuating naira value against other foreign country or other currencies, what is your advice for a business person who transact in three or more currency in a different country?
Wherever there is a problem, there is always a solution, and that's where opportunities are. If I would make an example, the rate at which you could acquire some investments like landed properties or houses in Nigeria 2 years ago is a lot cheaper for you if you are coming from like US or Canada, because you're coming with the Canadian dollars or the American dollars. So it's probably like 50% of what you could actually acquire these properties 2 years ago today. And this is the best time for anybody to, if you are out there, to take this step of faith. I would make an example. In Badagry, for instance, we are going to have the biggest deep sea ports in West Africa very, very soon. The construction is going to commence very soon. So you can imagine what the cost of a plot of land is going to be in perhaps 2 or 3 years from now. You're probably going to have perhaps like 1,000% return on your investment when that deep sea port commences. A plot of land that could go for 10 million naira now, when the deep sea port is not there, could probably be going for like 70, 80 million naira when the deep sea port is here. So it's an opportunity for everyone that have the cash to invest for tomorrow. If you consider the fact that because the naira is dwindling and you want to hold on to your money, at the point, the value of your money commensurate to what your investment will be, will not tally anymore. Most people always blame themselves and ask a question why they have not invested like 20 years ago. And you won't want to fall into that category. We can always invest today, and in another 10 years down the line, our investment portfolio would have grown a lot bigger. But we have to be intelligent about what we do. We have to seek a lot of information. But I can tell you for a fact that Badagry is going to experience a boom, and it's going to be one of the biggest economy in Lagos State. We are going to control a very large chunk of trade because we have the number one border in Badagry, and this border happens to be the largest border on the whole continent of Africa. It's the most busy border point from one country to the other. And in close proximity to this border is where we're going to have this deep sea port. Aside from this, there are other investments like export processing zone that is going to come with the deep sea port, aside from so many other ventures as well. The hospitality industry in Badagry is going to boom because there will be the demand for quality hotels in huge proportion. There will be demand for quality manpower in huge proportion. There will be demand for services, all sorts of services. So if you are taking advantage of what is going on now, you are going to cash in. That's my advice for you. So come to Badagry to invest, and then you'll never regret. That's my advice at this time.
Thank you. And just so you know, actually, back in the days, like I actually went to school in Badagry. So I did my secondary school there. So actually, for some of you who don't know, like you're in a good hands. So
Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna be rounding up pretty soon. But one of the questions that I would like to take here, and someone is saying here that you talked about agriculture. Do you consider yourself a farmer in model?
Well, I just have to let this out. I have a fish farm. I've been a fish farm for a few years now, so I'm a farmer. And farming is good. It's good for everyone to go into farming. I tried my hands in it, and it's been good for a few years now. And basically, it's one of those thriving industry in Badagry as well, where we have clusters that people can actually invest. You can monitor investment from abroad. Some people are doing it now, and we have a very good friend of ours, a good friend of the house. Sedge Farms is about the biggest fish farm around here, and is doing very, very well. So you can actually subscribe to a fish pond. You buy your feeds, you buy your fingerlings, and then someone helps you to monitor it to become matured, and then you sell your products. In fact, it's under strict monitoring and compliance. So, and it's fine. So you can join us and be a farmer too.
All right, all right. That's good. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna quickly read this one last question. I know there are a lot of questions, but trust me, if we're gonna take everything, we're gonna run out of time. All right, so and I'm sorry, I won't be able to take everything also to the audience. So, but so just to take this one, it says, what can we do to the investment lost on dubious citizen, like agro partnership businesses?
Yes, I'm sure we all know what insurance is. You can insure your business against loss. That's one of those things that we encourage people to do as a chamber. We also have experts within us that can assist you in conducting, some basic research, and then of course to assist you in, making informed decision. We have a lot of professionals among us. We are a chamber of professional people who are chartered accountants. We have lawyers, we have insurers, we have bankers, we have, tech people like myself. We have seasoned administrators, and we also have very successful business people and manufacturers. So the advantage you have for being a member of the chamber is that you will have a one-on-one, access to these people to seek for their advice. For instance, like I said before, we have someone among us who is an expert in the fisheries. He's been doing very well, recognized, worldwide, and is somebody that will basically tell you if it's going to work or it's not going to work. What challenges we have oftentimes is that investors themselves might try to cut costs, in the wrong manner, believing that they are making, the right decision. Perhaps they need to, do something at some point, and they feel they just have to, overlook that, and they expect a good result. These are things that experts will warn you about. More so, insurance of your business is the best thing that will give you a peace of mind. You're not going to lose your investment when something goes wrong. So I would advise that you should consider that like very, very seriously.
Wow, wow. It's been a very, very beautiful time with you. And I am so glad with all these beautiful informations that you've been able to share with us this evening. And I just want to say, I just want to say thank you to you. But the last thing that I would like to ask you is this before you go. Um, is there anything that you would like to say to my audience, like any word of like inspiration that you love to give out?
Yes, I would like to say something out of experience. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to hold on to your goals. You have to also pray very, very hard. Believe in God. Is the only one that can make you, succeed. If you hold your God, with your family and you work very hard, basically, it's not about you staying at home praying. It's about actually working hard. I heard from someone, a very reputable someone in the past, that hard work is prayer in action. So you put in the hard work, you put in the sweat, you are definitely going to reap the reward. So what I would say to everyone out there is to believe in themselves. I've seen, somebody who rides Okada came to me, brought his son to me, for training. I trained the boy, he's doing very well today. I've had to, also raise a number of guys that are out there in the US today. Wells Fargo, I have a guy I train who was with Wells Fargo today. I also have a guy who is there in the Silicon Valley, all doing very, very well. They all had this dream to do good for themselves, to succeed in life, and they have achieved their dreams because they keep to it. So don't lose hope. Wherever you have challenges, your miracle is halfway. That is why you have those challenges. Keep the hope alive and never lose faith in your creator. That's my advice for them. But I want you to understand one thing, that we are in a community called Badagry in Nigeria. I can confidently say it's one of the safest communities in Nigeria. And it's a place that is peaceful, that I would like to invite everyone to come join us. And we are going to build together, you know, um, a prosperous future, not just for ourselves, but for our children and to the glory of Nigeria. We want to do great things. And trust me, this time is not enough for me to tell you everything. But if there is the opportunity for us to meet one on one, or for me to express a lot more what is going on behind the scene, you'll be shocked at the fact that despite all the challenges in Nigeria, there are a lot of good things that is going on, that is going to change the fortunes of our country, that is going to change, the way our people live. We deserve a lot more, and we are going to get it. We believe in ourselves, and we believe in you. Come ride with us, and you'll never regret.
Thank you. Wow, 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 wow. That's extremely beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much for being on the show with us this evening. Like honestly, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. And I just can't keep saying thank you to you, honestly. So and hopefully next time when we'll call on you, I'm sure you'll be ready for us again. So thank you very, very much. And then I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
All right, everyone. So back to me. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing time this evening. Honestly, it's been very, very informative. And I want to tell you something that, there should be something that you're able to take home for yourself. There should be something, that you're able to to grab, to learn. So, and I just want to tell you, just like, our guest hand up his conversation with us, just keep striving, keep on, don't lose hope, just keep doing what you're doing, keep giving it your best. If it's not working now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to ever work. It's just going through the process. It's only going through the time. So you need to give it time, and you can't skip that time. You cannot. Nobody have control over that. No one. So I just want to tell you that, just keep going, keep striving. I believe so much in you that I know that, like, there's something great that's inside of you that you can accomplish and that you will accomplish. So without further ado, that we have come to an end of the show today. I remain your host in your love for time. But before I go, I want to tell you next week is going to be amazing. For every married couple, invite your married couple, like, your married friends, your friends are, like, trying to get engaged, trying to, like, learn something about, like, about relationship stability and all of that. Bring them on next week. It's gonna be a phenomenal time. Trust me. You don't want to miss that. So get ready, get prepared. 7 p.m. next week, Friday. Come, and then you're gonna meet our special guest. We're gonna throw up the light, and then, with so much laughter and excitement. So I just want to say a very big thank you to each and every one of you, and a wonderful good night to everyone. Thank you once again. Nini Lafatai, the Speaker Show.